Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has shown incredible resolve in the face of Russian aggression. He has become a global symbol of resistance, rallying his people and the world against Putin's invasion. Yet the war drags on, costing countless Ukrainian lives and devastating the nation. Recent reports suggest Zelensky is considering a difficult decision, stepping down from power in exchange for peace. This revelation comes amidst growing international pressure to find a negotiated settlement to the conflict. While the details of such a deal remain unclear, the potential ramifications of Zelensky's departure are enormous. Zelensky's departure would leave a void in Ukrainian leadership at a critical juncture. His presence has been a source of unity and strength for the Ukrainian people. His absence could fracture the government and embolden pro-Russian factions within the country. The world watches with bated breath as the situation unfolds. The question remains, is peace possible without Zelensky, and at what cost? The immediate impact of Zelensky's resignation on Ukraine would be profound. His departure would create a power vacuum at a time when unity is paramount. The Ukrainian political landscape is already fragmented, with various factions vying for influence. Without Zelensky's unifying presence, these divisions could deepen, leading to internal instability and potentially even violence. This instability would play directly into Russia's hands, making it easier for them to exert control and influence. The morale of the Ukrainian people, who have shown incredible resilience, would also be severely tested. Zelensky's leadership has been a beacon of hope during these dark times. His departure could lead to disillusionment and despair, undermining the will to resist Russian aggression. The uncertainty surrounding Zelensky's potential resignation has cast a long shadow over Ukraine's future. The coming days and weeks will be critical in determining the fate of this nation on the brink. Russia's reaction to Zelensky's potential resignation would be a crucial factor in determining Ukraine's fate. The Kremlin has long sought to install a pro-Russian leader in Kyiv and undermine Ukraine's sovereignty. Zelensky's departure could present Putin with an opportunity to achieve these goals through less direct means. Russia could exploit the ensuing political instability to its advantage, backing pro-Russian factions and potentially even orchestrating a coup. Furthermore, Russia could use the situation to justify further military escalation, claiming the need to protect Russian-speaking populations or restore order. The annexation of additional Ukrainian territory beyond Crimea and the Donbass would become a real possibility. The international community must be prepared to respond swiftly and decisively to any Russian attempts to exploit the situation. Failure to do so would have dire consequences for Ukraine and set a dangerous precedent for future conflicts. The international community, particularly the United States and Europe, has been a crucial ally to Ukraine since the beginning of the conflict. The potential resignation of Zelensky presents both challenges and opportunities for the West's involvement in the region. On the one hand, the departure of a leader who has garnered significant international support could complicate diplomatic efforts. It could also raise concerns about the future direction of Ukraine's government and its commitment to democratic values. On the other hand, Zelensky's potential willingness to step down for peace could provide an opening for renewed diplomatic efforts. The West could leverage this opportunity to engage in negotiations with Russia, seeking a resolution that respects Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The West must tread carefully, balancing the need to support the Ukrainian people with the goal of preventing further bloodshed. A united and resolute response is essential to deter further Russian aggression and ensure a just and lasting peace. Section 5. A House Divided, the US political scene. The potential for Zelensky's resignation has exposed a growing rift within the United States regarding its support for Ukraine. While the Biden administration remains committed to providing military and humanitarian aid, certain factions within the Republican Party have expressed skepticism about continued involvement in the conflict. This division reflects a broader debate about the role of the United States in global affairs and the extent to which it should support democracies abroad. The outcome of this debate will have significant implications not only for Ukraine but also for the future of American foreign policy. The Biden administration faces the challenge of maintaining a united front within the US while also rallying international support for Ukraine. This will require deft diplomacy and a clear articulation of the stakes involved in the conflict. The potential resignation of Zelensky adds another layer of complexity to an already fraught political landscape. The US must navigate these challenges carefully to ensure that its actions serve the best interests of both the American people and the Ukrainian people. Section 6: Echoes of History from Crimea to Kyiv. The current situation in Ukraine has unsettling parallels to Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014. Then as now, Russia exploited political instability and ethnic divisions to justify military intervention. The international community's muted response to the annexation of Crimea, many argue, emboldened Putin's ambitions and paved the way for the current conflict. The potential resignation of Zelensky raises fears that history may be repeating itself. If Russia senses weakness or indecision from the West, it could seize the opportunity to further dismember Ukraine. This would have devastating consequences for the Ukrainian people and send a chilling message to other countries in Russia's orbit. The lessons of history are clear. Appeasement only emboldens aggressors. The international community must stand firm in its support for Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity to prevent further Russian aggression. Section 7: The price of peace. Can Ukraine survive? The potential for peace in Ukraine comes at a steep price. The war has already cost tens of thousands of lives and displaced millions more. The country's infrastructure lies in ruins and its economy is in tatters. Even if Zelensky's resignation were to lead to a cessation of hostilities, the road to recovery would be long and arduous. Ukraine would require massive international assistance to rebuild its infrastructure, revive its economy, and heal the wounds of war. Moreover, the question of accountability for war crimes committed during the conflict remains a contentious issue. Justice for the victims and their families must be a priority, even as the international community seeks to build a lasting peace. The path forward for Ukraine is fraught with challenges, yet the Ukrainian people have shown incredible resilience and determination. With the continued support of the international community, there is hope that Ukraine can emerge from this crisis as a sovereign, democratic, and prosperous nation. Section 8: A New World Order, the Shifting Geopolitical Landscape. The conflict in Ukraine has profound implications for the global order. It has shattered the illusion of peace in Europe and exposed the fragility of the rules-based international system. The potential resignation of Zelensky and the uncertainty it brings further complicates an already volatile geopolitical landscape. The outcome of this crisis will shape the relationship between Russia and the West for years to come. Moreover, the war in Ukraine has highlighted the growing importance of alliances and the need for collective action in the face of shared threats. The response of the international community to this crisis will set a precedent for future conflicts and determine the future of global governance. The world is at a crossroads. The choices made in the coming weeks and months will determine whether we move towards a more peaceful and cooperative future or one defined by conflict and division. Section 9: Stay informed, the story continues. The situation in Ukraine is fluid and rapidly evolving. The potential resignation of Zelensky adds another layer of complexity to an already volatile situation. It is more important than ever to stay informed about the latest developments and engage in thoughtful discussion about the implications of this crisis. The decisions made in the coming days and weeks will have far-reaching consequences, not only for Ukraine but for the entire world. It is our responsibility as global citizens to educate ourselves about the issues at stake and advocate for peace, justice, and a rules-based international order.